The Young and the Restless spoilers. Faithfully, the history between Noah Newman and Audra Charles is not one that can be erased with time. Once bound by a whirlwind romance, they were the couple no one saw coming, a connection forged in equal parts attraction and chaos. It was a love that burned too quickly and left nothing but ashes in its wake. Noah, with his steady heart and his desire to escape the drama that had consumed so much of his family, walked away, leaving Audra with her ambition and her secrets. What he never realized was that their affair left behind something far more permanent than bruised egos or broken trust. Audra, long known for her manipulations and half-truths, carried with her a child, a secret so profound it could rewrite not only her story but Noah's entire future. When Noah and Audra crossed paths again, their reunion was ice-cold. She still carried a lingering tenderness, the shadow of feelings she could never quite bury, but Noah wanted no part of it. He made it clear that their time together was finished, that whatever fire once burned between them was extinguished. To him, she was a mistake he could not afford to repeat, a temptation that had already cost him too much. What he could not know was that her silence held the cruelest secret of all: he was a father, and she had kept that truth from him. Audra had given birth to a daughter, a child she has hidden from everyone in Genoa City. She convinced herself that the timing was never right, that revealing the truth would unravel everything she had built. Perhaps she feared that Noah would reject not only her but the child as well, or perhaps she simply could not bear the vulnerability that came with telling the truth. Whatever the reason, her choice to keep the child a secret was an act of deception that even by Genoa City standards feels impossible to forgive. The cracks in her secret begin to show when Nate Hastings, already wary of Audra's schemes, stumbles upon the truth in the most unexpected way. During an ordinary encounter, Nate notices something strange: a photograph tucked away in Audra's bag, a picture of a little girl with features too familiar to ignore. The image stops him cold, his eyes scanning the child's face, recognizing in her a trace of Noah's unmistakable Newman legacy. His instincts flare immediately. Nate, who has been on both sides of deception and betrayal, knows the weight of secrets. He also knows that Audra is not a woman who carries sentimental tokens unless they hold power over her. For Nate, the discovery is not just suspicious, it is explosive. As he begins to quietly investigate, Nate wrestles with what to do. Should he confront Audra directly and risk her spinning another web of lies? Or should he go to Noah, a man who deserves to know the truth even if it destroys him? Nate is no stranger to the fallout of exposing secrets, having seen firsthand how revelations can tear families apart. Yet the image of the little girl lingers in his mind, gnawing at him until he cannot stay silent. Audra, sensing Nate's scrutiny, grows increasingly defensive. Her carefully constructed facade begins to crack, her usual confidence faltering as he pushes her with subtle questions. Every time she tries to brush him off, Nate sees the flicker of fear in her eyes, the hesitation that betrays her guilt. She knows she cannot outrun this forever. The truth has already slipped into someone else's hands, and it is only a matter of time before it spreads. Still, she clings to silence, terrified that once she admits the child exists, she will lose control of the narrative and perhaps the child herself. The burning question now becomes whether Audra will finally confess. Will she stand before Nate, before Noah, before the world, and admit that she bore a daughter in secret? And if she does, will she tell the whole truth about the girl's parentage? For though everything points toward Noah being the father, in Genoa City, paternity is rarely so simple. Whispers of doubt begin to creep in. Could the child belong to someone else, a remnant of Audra's ambition, another liaison buried in her past? If the little girl is Noah's, the Newman family will never forgive Audra for keeping such a monumental truth from them. If she belongs to another man, the revelation will still expose Audra's deception and forever stain whatever chance she had left at rebuilding trust. Noah, oblivious for now, continues to live his life unaware that he may already be a father. But fate has a cruel way of exposing what is hidden, and when he learns the truth, because in Genoa City secrets always surface, the fallout will be seismic. Sharon will rally to her son's side, furious that Audra has deprived Noah of the chance to know his child. Nick will rage, not only at the deception but at the danger this places his family in once again. Victor, protective of the Newman name, will demand answers and perhaps even custody, determined that no Newman heir be raised outside of his control. The revelation will pit families against each other and force Noah into a role he never imagined, torn between his resentment for Audra and his instinct to protect the daughter he never knew he had. And what of Nate? His role in all of this is equally fraught. By uncovering the truth, he positions himself as both hero and enemy. To Noah, he may be the man who gave him back his child, but to Audra, he becomes the betrayer, the one who ripped apart the secret she guarded so fiercely. Their already tense dynamic will explode into something even more volatile, as Audra lashes out at Nate for daring to expose her while clinging desperately to the hope that she can salvage something of her bond with him. The revelation of Audra's secret child is more than just another storyline. It is a powder keg that threatens to ignite half of Genoa City. It challenges Audra's place in the Newman orbit, forces Noah to confront a future he never expected, tests Nate's moral compass, and risks dragging the Abbotts and the Newmans into yet another war over legacy, loyalty, and family. As fans brace for the moment when the truth finally comes out, one thing is certain: when it does, the lives of everyone involved will be changed forever. For months, fans of The Young and the Restless have been asking what the future holds for Noah Newman, a character often sidelined in Genoa City's turbulent drama despite his deep roots in the Newman legacy. Now, it seems the answers are coming in the most shocking and heart-wrenching way possible. As spoilers confirm, Noah's story is about to explode when he arrives in Nice, and this time he won't simply be circling the sidelines. Instead, he will be thrust into one of the most dramatic storylines of his life, discovering that he is a father, and that the mother of his child is none other than Audra Charles, the woman he once loved, the woman who betrayed him, and the woman whose heart still beats unevenly every time his name is mentioned. For viewers who have been following closely, the history between Noah and Audra is messy, complicated, and unfinished. Once deeply involved with one another, their relationship imploded when Audra's secrets and ambition outweighed her ability to commit to him with honesty. Noah, determined to protect himself from the cycles of pain that had defined so many of his family's relationships, walked away. He closed the chapter firmly, believing that whatever bond they had once shared was gone forever. But soap operas thrive on secrets, and Audra's biggest one is about to drag Noah back into her orbit whether he wants it or not. Because unknown to him, he already has a child, a little girl Audra gave birth to in silence, choosing not to tell him out of fear, pride, and perhaps her own inability to be vulnerable with the man she still loved. The revelation comes at a time when Noah is preparing to step into the spotlight again. His journey to Nice is meant to open doors for him, to give him a storyline rich with intrigue, connection, and purpose. Instead, he is blindsided by fatherhood, forced to reconcile not only with the woman he thought he had left behind but also with the life that has been kept from him. For Noah, who has always prided himself on being gentle, protective, and loyal, the discovery of a daughter is both a shock and a calling. How does he embrace being a father when he feels so betrayed by the secrecy that surrounded her birth? How does he look at Audra again, knowing she hid from him the most important truth of all? Audra herself is a woman caught between past choices and present consequences. She has always been a survivor, someone who bends the truth to protect herself and her ambitions. But this time, the stakes are different. This is not about corporate power or romantic manipulation. This is about a child, about flesh and blood, about the kind of secret that can destroy everything if handled poorly. When Noah learns the truth, Audra knows she will face his wrath, his heartbreak, and his mistrust. And yet, beneath it all, she cannot deny that part of her has always dreamed of this moment, of Noah learning he has a daughter, of seeing the man she once loved step into the role of father and perhaps, just perhaps, rediscover the love they lost along the way. The problem is that Noah is not the only man in Audra's life. Over the past year, her entanglement with Nate Hastings has pulled her into another complicated romance. Nate, a man once defined by loyalty and honor, has walked his own path of betrayal, ambition, and redemption. His involvement with Audra was passionate but fraught, and though their relationship has never found solid ground, he cannot fully let her go. When Nate discovers the truth about Audra's daughter, through a chance discovery of a photograph tucked away in her bag, it changes everything. Suddenly, Nate is confronted with the possibility of stepping into a father role, even if the child is not biologically his. For a man who has been seeking redemption, the opportunity to love and protect an innocent child could give him the purpose he has been missing. But does that purpose come at the cost of entangling himself deeper with Audra and her lies? This sets the stage for one of the most explosive conflicts Genoa City has seen in years, a custody and identity battle that pits Noah and Nate against each other, with Audra in the middle. Noah, outraged at having been kept from his daughter, will fight to claim his rightful place in her life. Nate, who feels betrayed by Audra's secrecy but still deeply drawn to her, may step forward as a man willing to raise the child as his own. And Audra, torn between the two men, must finally admit the truth: who is the father, and why did she keep it hidden? If the child is Noah's, the Newman family will demand answers, with Victor and Nick stepping in to ensure their bloodline is protected. If there is any doubt, a paternity test will become inevitable, dragging the entire mess into public view and forcing Audra to face the consequences of her lies. The emotional fallout promises to be devastating. Sharon, already still grieving Noah's struggles and fearing for his future, will be both heartbroken and furious that her son has been robbed of precious years with his child. Nick, protective as always, will rage at Audra for daring to deceive the Newman family. Victor will see the situation as an attack on his dynasty, one more manipulation designed to weaken the Newman legacy, and his reaction could be ruthless. Meanwhile, Jill, Lily, Kyle, and the rest of Genoa City will watch as the drama explodes, each with their own perspective, alliances, and interests in how the story unfolds. For Noah, this is not just about reclaiming his place as a father. It is about redefining himself, stepping out of the shadows of his family's endless conflicts, and proving that he can be the man who rises above betrayal. For Audra, it is about confronting the reality that lies always unravel, and that sometimes the only way forward is through painful truth. For Nate, it is about deciding whether his desire to be a hero can overcome the betrayal he feels, and whether his love for Audra is strong enough to survive the revelation of another man's child. And at the center of it all is a little girl who has no idea of the storm she has inherited, a child who will forever tie together Noah and Audra whether they like it or not. Will this revelation rekindle their love, giving them a second chance to build a family together? Or will it destroy them both, as old wounds and new betrayals tear them apart? Will Nate fight for custody, positioning himself as a rival to Noah in both love and parenthood, or will he step aside and leave Audra to face the Newman family's wrath alone? The coming weeks in The Young and the Restless promise no easy answers, only the kind of dramatic revelations and emotional battles that have kept fans riveted for decades. Noah's arrival in Nice will not be quiet or forgettable. It will be the beginning of a storyline that ties together past betrayals, present choices, and future legacies. By the time the truth about Audra's daughter comes to light, lives will be shattered, families will be divided, and nothing in Genoa City will ever be the same again.